Tea break tips.
Hello, so in this episode we're going to be looking at some CSS shadows with help from the absolutely iconic 1980s TV show Button Moon. For anyone who's not familiar with Button Moon, check it out online. So there's two types of CSS shadows that we have. We've got box shadow here. If we look at Can I Email, we've got 58.54% support, works in Apple Mail, in Gmail but not in Google accounts within Gmail, so it's quite a small section of Gmail. Got it in Outlook, and then a few of the others are ticking. There's a few green bits we're seeing there. It's pretty decent. Text shadow is a little bit better. It's up to 75.61%. Again, we're missing out on Gmail. We've lost Outlook, but we've gained Yahoo and AOL, and everything else listed in Can I Email is showing green. So pretty decent support for it overall. So where these aren't supported, they fall back really cleanly to just not having a shadow. So it's a really simple enhancement we can add. So if we were to add here our box shadow with black background, offset to the right and underneath. So we can see there's the offset left first. So if I put this to 2M, we'll see that move across. And then the vertical offset. So we can use negative values here. So if I set it to -1, we can see that it's moved up above there. So let's put it back to how we had it. We also have a couple of other values we can add. So if I set another 1M, this third value is setting the blur, and then a fourth value will set the scale. So this is making it larger. Again, we can set this to a negative. So if we do -0.5M, let's keep this, let's put that at 0.5, and we'll set that to 0. And this is quite a nice effect of just a small shadow underneath the bottom. It's quite subtle and it works quite well. Another thing that we can do here, which I think works well, if I just go back to our simple settings, if we were to take the background color that we're using and we'll set that as the shadow color. Now if I go into Parcel and I hover over here, we can see the shadow there, and we'll just pull it down and make it a much darker color, and that's starting to look a bit better, and we can just move this across to make it an RGB color. And then I'll put in a opacity level there, 0.8, and actually looks a lot more realistic. So if you're matching your background color and then darkening that rather than using a black, it gives a much better effect. So our next example here, we've got a text box. We've got a few shadows on here, so just showing that you can set multiple values on a box shadow. Also, another value that we can put in here is the inset keyword, so that's putting it inside. This doesn't really work on images because it will sit behind the image, so unless you've got a transparent image, you won't see this. So I'm giving a bit of an embossed feel here. I've set a light colour around the top here and a dark colour around the bottom, and then also very, very faintly around the outside I've got some extra shadow going on as well. It's very faint and subtlety works well here. If I were to take this off, then you can see like how much impact it's having. So it's actually making quite a big change. So the other one we wanted to look at was text shadow. So if I just do a little text shadow here, works quite similar. So I'll do 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 1 pixel, and set that to black. You can see we've got our little text shadow there. That's a bit too harsh, so let's just take this color here and we'll replace that there. And I'm going to just set these a little bit higher, put those to 2, so it's just a little further underneath and a little bit more blurred. So I think that's looking pretty nice. So text shadow is very similar to box shadow. However, there's a couple of things that we don't have. We don't have the size option, which is the fourth value that we add into our box shadow, and also we don't have the inset option in text shadow. Here's a few text shadow examples that I put together. So we've got a simple shadow here. We've got this embossed text. We've got a text outline. So a text outline is quite a complicated one to do. We don't have a text outline that works reliably in CSS, so here I've actually had to put it on around each corner, and it's quite a few layers that needed there. This nice staggered one we've got down here. Here I'm matching the background color with every other value to give a look like there's a break in there, but it's actually a background color. I've got this long shadow here where we've just gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and just slowly 1 pixel at a time made this bigger. So we've got this nice stretched long shadow. Got nice little 3D glasses here, just playing around with some colours there. And finally we've got this little block text, so it looks like it's 3D text coming up out of the page. So there's lots of options we can play with here. Support's pretty decent. There is also support in Outlook, but this is a quick video and we don't have time to go into that now. Cheers.